Boom, 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 boom. Oh, damn it. When it started recording, it messed up my framing, and now I have weird headroom. Alright, how's it look? I can't tell from my end.
It looks pretty good.
Okay.
Uh, Probably like lift it up just like a little bit,
Like
or like if you.
like this, or tilt the like that back.
It looks okay. Yay!
Good enough for me. Alright. Now I just gotta pray it doesn't shift around too much. I think it'll be okay. Alright, so we're gonna talk about the rebrand. We can hit on the Run the Jewels. I listened to that album. Did you listen to it all the way through?
Oh yeah.
Cool. And then The Last of Us, Outer Worlds, and whatever else you feel like.
Yup.
Tight. Alright. So I guess we'll get it going in 3, 2, and welcome back to the brand new CNN podcast. It's the same people, same kind of concept, but we're broadening out a little bit. We're going to be talking about way more than just movies, because we just like having these conversations, and we didn't want to limit ourselves, you know? So how you doing, Nick?
I'm doing pretty well, buddy. I missed you.
I miss you too. It's been a while. We took a couple weeks off to kind of figure some things out, and I just realized I'm looking at the TV when I should be looking at this. Anyways. It's a whole setup right now. You guys don't even want to know what my apartment, my living room looks like. Anyways. So, Nick, what's been new in your life? What's been going on?
Well, Curtis, you are the proud uncle of a new cat.
Yay!
Her name is Naja. She just ran down the hallway. She is a wild little one. She is almost a year old.
Aw. How does Chief feel about this?
They snuggle.
Aw.
They already love. They're definitely over there playing right now together. So you may hear some things because they are wild.
I'm definitely getting cuteness overload from your Snapchats, so that always makes my day.
I mean, we need that right now more than anything.
We really do. But yeah, just a heads up, I don't think we're going to get too much into topics like that for anybody listening, because I think we just want to be a good, welcoming, like, inviting kind of, like, break from all that stuff, so.
Yes.
We can come take a breath. And now we're going to dive right into some new music this week, which is Run the Jewels. They dropped their Run the Jewels 4, which is kind of a political topic, but, you know, it's really good music, so I think we can let it slide.
Right. If you haven't listened to it yet, they dropped it 2 days early for everybody. I definitely listened to it the second that I realized that it was out, which was like Thursday afternoon, whenever I listened to it twice. Really good. If you're not in the mood to be politically driven at this moment because everything going on is very, very heavy, I would recommend waiting until you are in that mindset. But it is very good to listen to. Definitely brings up a lot of different points. And Kurt, you have anything else to say about it?
No, I really like it. To your point, yeah, it's really important politically, but, you know, it is important to kind of step back and take breaks from that and not overwhelm yourself, because it will eat you up from the inside out. So, yeah, no, go listen to it when you have the chance and when you feel up to it. My favorite song is Walk in the Snow, or Walking in the Snow.
That's a good one.
I like the rhythm and, like, the rhyme scheme in that song. It's so great.
I like Goonies versus E.T. a lot. That's like, and then the first time I listened to it, obviously, like, I went in, like, I just got on my break at work. I put it on in the car and was driving home, and it, like, moves really fast. Like, there's, like, 11 songs on the album, but it moves, like, super fast. So I got to Just with Pharrell. Whoo,
that's a great one.
Whoo! I was sitting there like, he did not just... No, he did. He definitely did. Holy shit.
Yep. That was good stuff. Oh, man. That whole album, like, front to back, is really solid.
Oh, yeah.
There's definitely some standouts and some that, like, aren't quite as up there, but, you know, it's all worth listening to.
Highly, highly recommend.
For sure.
Well, on the other weird kind of political statement, and The Last of Us 2 is still coming out.
Yep.
Have you heard that it's already been banned in a couple countries?
I have, yeah. That's pretty insane. I know a lot of the fans are really upset about the leaks. I haven't read anything. I've been really good about avoiding anything that's out there. But
Yep.
I have seen a lot of people that are like super upset and like treating it like this big betrayal. So I'm really interested to get in there and see what happens.
Same. I was like debating on not getting it at first and like waiting a little bit, but honestly, like at this rate, I think it's worth my $60 worth of money to at least go see what it's all about.
Mhm.
And especially with the controversy behind Ellie being a lesbian, like, which I'm like, that's cool. Like, finally, like some type of representation that isn't an over sexualized female or some big buff white dude. Like,
Mhm. Exactly. Yeah, I'm super excited to see where they go with this. It looks massive. Like I've seen a lot of gameplay and stuff, and it just looks like it's going to be a huge game with all kinds of different like varieties of combat and like ways to play. So I think it's going to be fun.
I'm stoked. I'm stoked. I'm probably gonna play back through the original one first before I get into the second one because obviously like I need a refresher of like everything that
Right.
happened. If you haven't played the game, it is beautiful. Like
The first one, yeah, seriously, one of the best video games ever made.
story wise, especially,
Hmm.
um, highly recommend it. You will get sucked in. You will have feelings. Like
Yeah. There's actually a YouTube series. I don't know if you ever watched the like React channels or whatever. Um, there's one where they have teenagers play The Last of Us, and it's like this whole series where they sit them down and like every week play a little bit of the game, and their reactions to some of the stuff that happens in the story is so great. Like they get so traumatized.
oh my god, I can only imagine because it's definitely like really like hard hitting and like
Hmm.
touches on like a lot of different things and like puts you in some odd situations at times and like
Yeah.
more of a realistic sense of like the end of the world or zombie apocalypse as opposed to like something like Dead Rising where you're just mowing down zombies like
Right. Which is kind of the reason I'm excited for this new one because people definitely have expectations after the first one, and the fact that so many people are upset about it means it's making some brave choices, and I am all down for that. Like any kind of unique or interesting storytelling, yeah, bring it on.
should I strap in emotionally?
Uh, yes. If the first one is any judgment, we're gonna need like full on straps. Don't lift your head above your hands above your head. Hold on tight.
Whew. Well, in the meantime, what have you been up to video game wise and show wise and whatnot?
Um, let's see. So, video game wise, I just got back into. I told myself I wasn't going to play any more video games until The Last of Us 2 came out because I wanted to like a good solid break where I don't have to like get worn out by playing video games all the time. And then I thought about The Outer Worlds, which is a game that we played back when it first came out, and I just had this insane urge to play it again. So I started that one again last night. Nick,
I
have you
did
played that one
too.
before?
I like it was so funny because like I got back on my Xbox Live because I canceled the Game Pass, but I guess like you can still play the games that you downloaded without the Game Pass, which is interesting. I think I need to go like recheck, but I have Outer Worlds and like honestly, yeah, it's not like I probably wouldn't have paid $60 like right off the market for Outer Worlds, but I really it's just so much fun. Like
It is so much fun. For those who haven't played it, it's kind of like a Fallout, um, like Elder Scrolls kind of RPG set in outer space. You go around and meet characters, and make your choices. It's pretty by the book in terms of that, but the way it's done is so much fun. The characters and the world building are so interesting, and it has just some of the best character work in games that I've played in a while.
everything is really like dialogue heavy and like dialogue heavy choices. I've heard, if I remember correctly, I feel like the people that made Fallout New Vegas actually made this one as well.
I think that's right. Yeah.
My cat's being weird over there. He's thinking about getting on the counter.
Don't you do it, Chief.
Yep.
Don't you do it.
Yeah, no. Come on.
He's testing you today.
I know. Oh. He got up on the damn counter. Can you believe this? I wish I could like turn my camera around so you guys could
look
see.
at this. We should
Yeah.
just look at it.
He's like, get down. Come on. You'll have to excuse me for a second. I gotta go get him down. Hey, get down. Go on. Good boy. He's being wild over there. You're being wild today, pal.
He wildin'.
He fucking straight wildin', man.
So how far have you gotten in the Outer Worlds this playthrough? Or did you just pick up where you were before?
I tried to the first time because I tried a couple days ago, and I picked up, and I was like towards the later end of the game, and I just could not remember what I was doing. And like it's usually pretty good about like if you set it down for a little while, it's pretty good about like, oh, if you pick it back up, you like usually know where you are, unlike like Skyrim or like something like that, or Fallout 4 or any of the Fallout games where you pick it back up and you're just like, I don't remember what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
This one was pretty good, but I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to start all back over. So I started last night, didn't get very far. I just met Parvati, which is probably like...
Same here!
Our favorite character.
Dude, she is the best. She is something, man. She's got a heart of gold. She just wants everybody to be happy. And it's so interesting seeing a character like her because as you get into the story, you realize that she's asexual, but she's like falling in love with this engineer that works on this other ship, and like the way she's coping with this and like coming to terms with her feelings, it's something, man. It's really, really fun.
I like, it's like so beautiful, and like I think that was like so cool. It's like very subtle like way of like adding in like a canon asexual character.
Right.
And what it actually is as opposed to what people think like that sexuality is for sure.
Yeah, and it's done pretty nicely too. They're not like beating you over the head with it. It's like things you find out if you talk to her enough. Like she'll drop enough hints or like say some things that you kind of realize what's going on.
And you and I both play games very similarly where we try and make, I don't know.
You mean like, poorly?
Where we try and make like basically, I always felt like your first playthrough of any type of video game like this, you tend to make choices based on what you would actually make in real life. Mm-hmm. And then you and I are like very dialogue heavy, like trying to actually get to know people's motives, trying to do what we think is like best or the most morally good like option.
Yep.
As opposed to just like screwing everything and like pillaging because you have those options in the game where you can choose whether or not you bring her along. You can also choose whether or not like you get into those dialogues.
Mm-hmm. Heck, if you have a strong enough weapon and you get to that point, you can literally just go through and kill everyone in the game. Like there's nothing stopping you from just destroying everyone.
I think that's the beauty of these games, man. Like you have so many different outcomes of what you can do and what you can discover and everything like that, and it's like, oh, that's so cool.
It really is, and I think that works really strongly in this game. Like I've played all the Fallouts and Elder Scrolls, and they feel like limited. Like you have options, but it's usually like 2 or 3. This one, it's truly like unlimited. It feels like whatever you want to do, you can do. It's the closest I've felt like playing, like Dungeons and Dragons or something like that. Like you can just kind of make it up as you go.
I definitely feel that for sure because like you said, like Fallout's very limited. The storyline's very limited, at least. Like it's very basic, and like the side quests are what really makes it.
Right.
Whereas this one, like, I feel like the side quests are integrated more into the storyline.
Hmm. They become the main story by what you choose to do and who you choose to talk to. Because really, the main story isn't very long. You're like saved from a ship that's been in hyperspace or in space for like 70 years, and your mission is to come down and like fix stuff and save all those people, I think. And you could do that in like a couple hours, I'm pretty sure. But it's all the things you come across that like build to your story and your journey that make it like all the while.
The scientist is the huge part of all this because you basically have the choice to either turn him in and end the game super quick, or you can continue on and like fulfill like what he sent you down to do,
Hmm.
basically.
Right.
So like you have all these different options. Like, can you end the game in probably roughly 2 hours? I would say, yeah, absolutely, you could. Would you get the full effect? No.
Right. Totally agree.
Well, okay, here's my question to you. So, are you going, since like we both unfortunately got like really close to finishing it but never did, are you
Mhm.
gonna continue on the path that you were making the same choices, or are you gonna try some new things?
I'm kind of treating this with fresh eyes. Like I feel like a lot's changed since I last played it, so I feel like I'll make some different choices. I've forgotten a lot of like where things go. I'm pretty familiar with like where I'm at now, but like down the road, I've forgotten a lot of what happens. So I'm gonna just like play it by ear and see what happens.
You know, a lot of people were talking smack about this game whenever it came out
Mm,
because I think they were expecting another Fallout,
mm,
but in space. And I feel like it's a good, for me, this is a good balance between sandbox and like campaign story driven
right, yeah,
game.
yeah, because it's not totally an open world. Like you have different planets you can walk around on. They're not like massive worlds, but there's enough to like keep you engaged. Like you can get distracted by something off in the distance and kind of go check it out for a minute.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So aside from like Outer Worlds, have you dove back into anything else or any shows or anything?
Um, not. I've been watching a lot of Community. I'm almost finished with that one. I love that show. It's fantastic. If you haven't watched it from beginning to end, you should.
Oh my god.
What have you been into?
Avatar: Last Airbender.
Heck yeah, man. That's next on my list.
Oh, it's so good. It holds up so well too.
I
Like,
miss it, man. I miss it so much.
oh my God. Like, and like for Nickelodeon to put out something, honestly, I think that may have been the last good thing that Nickelodeon put out.
Probably.
Honestly, now that I'm thinking about it.
It's the last thing I remember watching on there.
Yep, same. That was like new and fresh, basically, because they just beat SpongeBob to death,
Yep.
beat Fairly Odd Parents to death.
Yep. The Rugrats had a nice run, but they were kind of choked out at that point. They had the 10 years later thing.
All grown up.
Yeah.
Honestly, like if you try and go back and watch, like rewatch some of the shows like Cat Dog and like Rocket Power and Rugrats, like whenever you get older, they don't have the same, like they don't resonate the same,
Right. Oh, man.
which is interesting. But I feel like the first like 3 seasons of SpongeBob
Mm.
and then Avatar: The Last Airbender, like they just are like a fine wine. They get better with age. Like,
Totally agree, actually. So, have you seen any movies recently? Anything you want to suggest? Since we used to be a movie podcast.
since we used to be a movie podcast, have I even seen anything? Oh, uh, I'm not gonna get too into it. I'm not gonna get too into it. If you have not watched 13th on Netflix, it's a documentary, award-winning documentary. It's very good, very deep, very relevant to everything going on right now. If you feel like it is time, I suggest watching that. It's very intuitive, very informative, and gives you a whole different perspective on things and like enlightens. a lot. Um, what else? I feel like there was actually like another movie or something that I did watch like recently, but it's mostly been like Avatar: The Last Airbender and like What We Do in the Shadows every week, obviously.
I've seen 2 episodes now as an update. 2 or 3, I think. Maybe 3. I'll get there. I'm getting there.
I love the second episode of like that first season because like I used to work in public access. So there's like community like meetings and shit like that. Like I used to have to record this, so I was like, this is so real for me right now. The planning and zoning meetings, I was like, yeah, these are exactly how these go.
Oh my god, that's so funny. And the what was it, like the energy vampire or whatever that sucks your energy is up there talking about all these zoning issues and stuff.
Yep. It was too real. It was so funny because it was so real for me because I'm like, absolutely, I have sat there at one of those meetings for like 2 hours while some like
Raise your hand if you've been personally victimized by an energy vampire. Oh man. Yeah, I definitely gotta add 13th to my list. I have not seen that one yet, but it's been on my list for forever. So definitely feel like once I have the energy to watch it, I will. Working in the news is kind of draining as it is.
I think about you every day, and I'm like, this poor man gets up at 2:30 to 3 o'clock a.m. every single day and has to go on the front lines and listen to all this crap.
Yeah, yeah,
Wait,
it's draining. I definitely take a lot of naps when I get home. A lot of naps.
honestly, I fear for your mental health more than anything, buddy.
Oh, between that and all the terrible stuff going on in the world and the dude that was like stalking our station and saying he was going to kill everyone, that was fun. This guy's like a total nut job. Like he's posting all these ridiculous like religious things and it's a hot mess, but we think he lives in Kentucky now?
Go figure, right? Go figure.
So it's been a wild ride, like, and we're still getting paid the same amount of money. I know one of the stations up here, they get hazard pay of like $75 a day or something. And, we're just, making our same amount for all the crazy stuff that's going on and possibly getting killed.
I'm so thankful that you are safe because I feel like a mother sometimes. I'm like, I like wake up some days and like especially with everything going on, I'm like, I really hope Curtis is okay at work today.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate you. How's life been in the pizza world? Anything crazy going on? Any like protest happen near you?
So, obviously like I live in Columbus, so like yeah, like there's been a lot going on recently. I think it's kind of humorous. It's very sweet at the same time. I definitely like appreciated it's like definitely like little things that are like moving this along and everything like that. So like the area that I work in, predominantly white, very rich area. Like our whole entire parking lot is nothing but Tesla, BMW, Lexus. Like that's the area that I work in. Obviously not the area I live in. Like I don't I don't make money like that by any means. Like but there was word of a protest happening, and it just ended up being some high schoolers that like really wanted to back the movement. I was like, that's really sweet. Like, and it's absolutely like the intention behind everything. And I was like, oh, like good for them, man. Like.
Yeah, I mean, it's happening in all 50 states now, and, everything helps, and look at all the stuff that's happened ever since the protests have started. Like, we've made, so much change has come out of this. Like, all the officers have been arrested. They've reopened the case of the woman in Louisville who was unjustly killed.
So. It's crazy times for sure. I mean, like, you look back a couple years, and, like, obviously we said we weren't going to go down this route, but like we're gonna very tread lightly on this. You look back a couple of years at the Trayvon Martin and whatnot, and all those cases, and it took years, months, years for those officers to be even put into trial, and then most of them let go free.
Hmm.
So we definitely see where now, like, this is making an impact, and we're making some type of progress at this point.
Right. Yeah. So it's
But
great to
yeah,
see.
great to see for sure. And I hope that your mental health is okay, buddy, being right there with everything.
I'm
Um,
hanging in there. I work both days this weekend, so I'll let you know how that goes. But oh, movie suggestions. That's where we were. I've watched this movie. I've seen it before, but recently I've like fallen in love with it again. Short Term 12. I told you to watch it. I watched it twice in the past week because I made Katie watch it. It's incredible. I love that movie with all my heart.
Tell us a little bit about it, Kurt. What's the backstory here?
So it's all about these people. They work at a children's home for underprivileged children. So people who have like run into trouble, kids without parents, anything like that. And it's about like all of their lives and like all the things they're going through. So like you see a lot of the adults like personal issues and how they deal with that, and then like how they're dealing with the kids. And they're all just so great in working with the kids and like not overstepping their boundaries. Like that's the first thing they tell this new guy is like, we're not their parents, we're not here to control their lives, we're here to help them and guide them in the right way. So it's just a really sweet and like personal story, and it goes down some like really kind of dark and like super touching paths. And the cast, have I told you about this cast yet?
I think you have, but let's repeat it for our viewers here.
The cast, it stars Brie Larson, um, from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. She plays Rosa. I forget her name right now. She's in it. It's got Lakeith Stanfield, who we've praised in this show quite a bit. Um, Caitlin Dever, who was in Booksmart. She was the other one that wasn't Beanie. Uh, and if you've seen The Newsroom, Jim from The Newsroom is on that show, and that's like my favorite TV show ever. So it was great to see him in something else. And they all act their butts off. It's fantastic all the way around.
Hell yeah, man. I will definitely like check that out at some point. I may watch it this weekend. I also have to watch Paprika and give my sister back her copy.
Yeah, I heard a lot about that one. I thought it used to be on Netflix, but I haven't seen it on there. But yeah, definitely check out Short Term 12 when you're in the mood to get into your feels, because it goes down some personal holes and some dark paths.
I have been so in my feels lately, Curtis, that it is unreal. I am emotionally drained.
Dude, then definitely take some time and prepare yourself for that movie. But you're gonna love it. Lakeith is incredible. He's just this kid at this point. Like he looks like he's 17, 18 years old, and he is so good.
Baby Lakeith.
Baby Lakeith. Actually, his name in the credits is just Keith. It says Keith Stanfield.
Before the law.
So that was tight. All right. I think it's time to show you a video that I came across on Twitter. This was just something funny I thought would lighten the mood a little bit. This is from Jordan Pickford. He's a professional soccer player. He's a goalie. And hang on, let me try to get screen share up here. Screen share.
Ye old screen share.
There we go. All right, so I'm going to head to Twitter. And he's a professional goalie, and he says, getting some practice in with the old man, and they've got this ball launcher here, all right? Tell me why this is what he's practicing. There is so much net that could be kicked at. Like if I'm a coach and I'm telling somebody how to play against this guy, just kick it to any side of the goal. He's just standing there catching balls.
Kurt, I'm not seeing anything.
What?
I don't have your screen yet.
It might be because I'm watching a YouTube video. Hang on. Dang it! Oh, I haven't hit start. Okay, there's an extra button I needed to hit. Are we good now?
Yes. Yes, I can see myself.
Okay. Can you see the video?
Yes. Oh,
Like, it's just set up in the middle of the net. He's just standing there catching balls. He felt the need to share this on Twitter.
oh my god. It's like real slow too. Like who kicks at a goalie head on like that?
Man, he's going to be a great goalie as long as the person's kicking directly at him.
Directly at him.
So that just was something a little bright that made me laugh this morning.
Getting some practice in with the old man ball launcher.
Jeez. Oh boy.
I mean, I guess he's practicing, so there's that. Oh, and by the way, all the Blue Jackets are finally healthy.
Yeah. It literally took the season ending for a while
to get every single Blue Jacket back healthy and whatnot, and if there even is an end of this season.
I was gonna say, have you heard any updates on that?
I've heard that. I did hear the official NBA is going to start on July 31st, which is my birthday, which is dope.
Yeah.
And we're both wearing Milwaukee Bucks. I'm wearing my Bucks hat. You've got your Bucks shirt on.
I'm corrupting you.
I do love the Bucks, man. I love. I can't not, like, they're great. And I haven't heard like official like NHL stuff yet. I haven't heard anything from my boss or anything like that. I've heard that they have a plan in action with the postseason and going straight into playoffs, much like the NBA. There's some different hub cities, and Columbus may be one of them, which would be dope.
Extra jobs for you.
Yep, that would be sick. And the Blue Jackets are in it, of course, and the team that they would potentially play would be the Toronto Maple Leafs, which would be a very difficult matchup, but not something that isn't completely doable for them for sure.
Right. Plus, hockey is hockey at this point. You just get to watch hockey.
Right. Now, honestly, that's all that I care about, man. Like, I miss sports a lot. I miss it bringing people together for sure. I know a lot of the athletes are out doing good for the communities right now with COVID and the protests going on and everything like that. And, like, good for them, man. Like, good for them.
You love to see it. And who would have thought back in high school or even when we first met that we would be sports people at this point?
I hated sports.
We were so far from sports people back then.
I hated sports back then. Honestly, I just think it's so beautiful. Like, it's such a beautiful thing that, like, brings everybody together, no matter, like, your economic status, like, where you're from or anything. You all have that, like, common, like, love for, like, a team, or, like, you know, or, like, hatred for a team too, because, like, let's be real, like, I hate Philadelphia. Like, I probably shouldn't come out and just say that, but
I mean, I can't name. I don't care about being divisive to our audience because we don't really have an audience right now. I can't name one Philadelphia team with a good fan base.
You're goddamn right. It's just the first time that we're gonna get real in this show and just absolutely like show that we do have some form of a bias and not just like, oh yeah, like I see that.
Yeah, no. Right. No. Nope, this is the new us.
This is the rebrand. We're gonna rip everybody in new butthole nicely, basically.
That's too funny. So, I guess the last thing we should touch on, we were going to talk about movies because they might be coming back at the end of this month, early next month. We finally might have movie theaters open again.
Oh yeah.
So that's pretty exciting. Is there a certain movie out or like that you've missed that was delayed that you really want to see?
I'm trying to think. Black Widow looked interesting.
Hmm.
Um, that was definitely like one of the ones that I was like, kind of like, okay, like that looks interesting. Maybe not the best Marvel movie, but like I would definitely go see it.
Yeah.
Um, I don't even remember what all was gonna come out. Like it's been like so long since like,
Yeah. I think the first major one to get delayed was A Quiet Place 2 way back in like April.
yeah, I don't really want to see a second. That one didn't need a second one in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
I like the first one a lot. I think that was cool.
Hmm.
I feel like there was a big horror movie coming out this summer that wasn't A Quiet Place 2 that I was like, oh, that looks interesting.
Hmm.
What about you, Kurt?
There's been a lot. Edgar Wright's new movie is supposed to be like a time traveling horror suspense thing. It was supposed to come out in September. That's pushed back until next year now. I don't think it's quite that long, but the one that I think the world needs the most, that I'm most excited for, and that a lot of people probably don't know about is In the Heights. It was supposed to come out in like a week or two actually, and they
Yeah.
pushed it back a full year. It's coming out next June now. And I'm telling you, man, it's the movie the world needs right now. It's all about like community and coming together and like loving each other and just like
Oh.
it's such a great like touching story, like the things that happen, the way this community like raises each other up, and it has a lot of interesting things about like immigration too because it takes place in a very predominantly Hispanic community. So it has like they've said the movie is going to be changed a lot to be a commentary on like the immigration situation right now. So that'll be interesting to see. And I don't know, man. I think a lot of people are going to like that movie because it has a lot of heart and some great songs. It's a musical, so
I was gonna say it's based off of a Broadway musical, right?
it's based on a musical by the guy that did Hamilton. And I'm kind of back and forth on which one I like more. So that's if that says anything about this show.
That's a big one for Kurt. So I guess here's my question to you. You know, after all this blows over, after all this quarantine blows over and whatnot, like,
Mm.
what is the one thing that you are like most excited to go do? Like when everything is like safe and whatnot.
Dude, I can't wait to get back to concerts, honestly. Like, I was so looking forward to Summerfest this year, and now it's not happening. They canceled it.
I was I'm legitimately upset. I've never seen Tame Impala like in concert, and
Mhm.
me and Chelly, our friend Chelly, and a couple other people were gonna go see them on May 31st, and obviously like that got pushed back, and I was really pumped for that, and I had bought tickets to that, and I was just like, oh man, like
Yep. It's heartbreaking, man. Like, the power of live
yeah.
music is, like, it's unspeakable. It's awesome.
Ah, I also like. I would totally go see the Grateful Dead again.
Mhm.
It's an experience for sure. I definitely wanted to go see them again over the summer, and that's not happening. Obviously, um, obviously we need to stay safe, and germ free and everything like that right now. So I respect and understand um, what's going on. But honestly, like I really wanted to go to like a music fest this year, and like
Mhm.
last year we went to Summerfest together, and I came up for a little bit, um, and that was a good time. We saw.
Nice.
I came up. I left work early that day. And this was this was back before. This was right when "Truth Hurts" by Lizzo was starting to get big. And
Mhm.
we looked at the lineup and we had already figured out what days. We bought a 3-day pass, right? And all of a sudden I re-looked at the schedule like a couple days before I went. I said, Kurt, Lizzo is headlining this Thursday night. And he's like, what? I don't really know anything about Lizzo. I'm like,
Really? Like, I didn't knew nothing. You were the one that was all on it, and I'm so glad it worked out.
I was like, Kurt, we have to go see Lizzo. Like, this is a must. Like, we can ixnay Sunday. Like, that's fine. Like, there was only like one person that we like really wanted to see on Sunday, and I was like, I'm gonna come down on Thursday, and we're gonna go see Lizzo. And sure enough, I got in my car at like 2 p.m. like and just drove. Like, I just straight up like filled up my gas tank. I like changed clothes in the car, and I just drove to Milwaukee from Newport, Kentucky.
And then I think once you got here, we hit the road immediately to get to Summerfest, and we got there like right as she was going on.
I got there, and I went, Kurt, do you have anything for a peanut butter sandwich? And I just crushed a peanut butter sandwich in like 2 seconds, and then like we immediately got in the car. My phone was almost dead at the time, and we got there just in time, and it was like dead. It was like weirdly dead, and everyone was around her stage.
Everyone. It was so packed. Even like after we got there, it filled in even more, and we were sardines, man.
I had to protect Curtis from getting grinded on by very drunk people.
I was gonna say, we both it was an experience.
I think Curtis's butt was touched quite a few times.
It was something, man. It was fun though. Like, that's the thing. There were a few concerts this year coming up that I wasn't going to go to. Like Alanis Morissette, I've wanted to see for forever, and I was like, I think I'm kind of over concerts. Even like Green Day was touring again, and they're my favorite band of all time. And I was like, I've seen them twice already. I don't need to spend any more money. And now that quarantine's come, like that's all I want to do is go out to a concert and see some live music.
There's something just like absolutely beautiful and powerful about seeing like live music. It's like a whole experience. Like, I don't know. And like it too. Like, it's something about like seeing your favorite band live, or like even just seeing somebody that you may not know, or maybe only know a few songs for it. It's just like a whole experience and whatnot.
Yeah, just like everybody coming together for like the love of this experience, and just like spending their time together, and the artist and audience like give and take. It's just like spending that time together is so special.
I thought Summerfest was so cool last year because we there was definitely some like local Milwaukee artists that we discovered and everything like that, and
even Australian. There was like somebody from New Zealand. I think it was New Zealand. I forget. But like bands from around the world.
Oh, for sure. Plus, like the ability to hop from there was 8 different big stages set up, along with a few other smaller stages.
Yep.
And you could like hop around from like place to place. Oh, it was a great experience for sure. Like on top of like all the different fair food and whatnot that was there, and like a real casual music fest for like a first time like music fest goer for sure.
Mm-hmm. And that's the neat thing about Summerfest for anybody that doesn't know what it is. Like, it has a good mix of every genre. It's not like specific to one like feel or like type of people. Like, throughout the day you can go from like seeing a country to like indie pop to like some weird experimental stuff to like just some dude with an acoustic guitar on the sidewalk. It's incredible.
To rap to like pop.
Mm-hmm.
There was some punk. Like, the Lonely Island was incredible.
That was so much fun, and it was so crowded. Oh my god. I think that was probably more crowded than Lizzo, and it was really scary.
It was. I think we got grinded on by big sweaty dudes.
Yep. And then at one point, the crowd from T-Pain decided to walk through the crowd of the Lonely Island. It was just a hot mess.
It was everyone in that crowd too.
It was Akon. It wasn't T-Pain.
No, it was T-Pain, because remember
T-Pain?
He came over.
Yeah, that's right.
To do I'm on a Boat, their very last like encore song.
Yep.
I just remember everyone in that crowd, because I'm like I'm not a small dude by any means. I'm like right under 6 foot. And everyone in that crowd was like at least 6'4".
And then you got like 5, 6, maybe me in the back, just like Poor Nick is just like, Kurt, can you see? Can you see, buddy? Are you okay?
I almost wanted to put you on my shoulders and be like, there you go, buddy.
Oh, what a time.
I think, honestly, my only problem with Summerfest was that, like, everything was on a flat surface. There was no, like, hill or anything that you could, like, see on. It was, like, flat, and then the stage was up. So if you had anybody taller than you in front of you, you're basically SOL. Like,
Which, you know, it worked for the smaller stages because you could, like, hang back or kind of go closer, whatever you wanted for the smaller bands. But, like, once you get to, like, the Lonely Island or, like, Jimmy Eat World where everybody was standing on the bleachers.
That was kind of terrifying to stand on the bleachers for an entire concert.
Yes, I was so scared.
My calves were, like, about to give out by the end of it. I was like, oh, my God, am I about to, like, fall over? Like...
So, yeah, that's just a small taste of Summerfest. If you ever get the chance to go, definitely check it out. It's a lot of fun.
Well, Kurt, I think we better wrap up this Rebrand episode here.
I think so. I can't see the time yet. Oh, we're at 46 minutes, so we're, like, above average time for our content.
We sure are, pal, but that's okay.
Yeah. Here's to a bright future and broadening our horizons and just hanging out and talking about the stuff we want to talk about, my friend.
A special thank you to Slow Glows, as always, for letting us use your music. Everyone stay safe and stay beautiful out there. Thank you for listening.
Thanks.